You ever sit down to work and then somehow you end up watching a 45-minute conspiracy video wondering what the heck happened? Well, it's not your fault. It's the environment. In this video, I'm going to show you why willpower keeps failing you and how to finally get ahead without burning out. Now, do you want any pizza right now? Do you want pizza? Probably not. Probably wasn't even on your mind until I said pizza. Well, imagine somebody walked into your room right now, wherever you are, and they had your favorite box of pizza already open, and you walk in, and they walk in, and you can see it, you can smell it, and suddenly all you want is pizza. Why? What happened? Why did you go from I don't want pizza to now, oh yeah, I'm gonna get me a slice? It's because the pizza is in your environment now. That's it. And that's how, like, that small thing is so important. That what's in your environment can influence what you want and what you do. I mean, I didn't watch TV, and this is like a side note, but like before I moved here, I did not watch TV. Now I've moved here and I watch TV. Why? Because my girl has a TV. And now TV is in my environment. Like, that's how deep this goes. I remember just like a few weeks ago, I was spending way too much time on YouTube. And I realized the only reason, and this is like, and YouTube isn't even in my environment. It's on my phone, but my phone is in my environment. It's next to me. So when I pick up my phone, I'm going to see YouTube. But anyway, I realized I was spending too much time on YouTube. So I put a shortcut where, I don't know if you know how to do this, but if you have an iPhone, you can do this. Maybe Android too, I don't know. But anyway, I put a shortcut where every time I opened up YouTube, my phone would go on airplane mode. And then a recording would play of me saying, hey, if you're not going on YouTube to listen to beats or watch something educational, get off. Because it's not going to help you. And that drastically cut how much time I spent on YouTube. And I'm giving you all these examples because I want you to truly understand that your behaviors are drastically affected by the things in your environment, no matter how small it may seem. Somebody walking in with a pizza is a very small example. Having an app on your phone is a very small example. But because they come into your environment, they all have an influence on you. So if something that small has influence on you, what about all the other things around you? How are they influencing you? Like, when you really start looking around your environment, you will see everything in here has some sort of control over you. Now, just because what's in your environment has control over you in some degree, it doesn't mean that you're doomed. Because while you can't stop the control that things have over you in your environment. You can be intentional about what's in your environment and what you're allowing to control you. You can have a TV in your living room and allow that to control you. Or you can take out the TV and just have a book or an exercise bike or just something different that will influence you to do different behaviors that you actually want to do and make your life in the long run. But most people, they're not going to target this. And if you want to remain unintentional and not change anything about your environment, you don't have to. But just know that the things you're doing right now that you want to quit, it's literally because of the environment you're in. So you're not going to quit until you change the environment. Like, it's that simple. Now, most people, they're not going to target the environment because they think it's a small thing that doesn't really matter. But I want you to understand this. No one who's ever reached the top of the mountain got there all willy-nilly overlooking the small things. None of that. The fastest person who won, like the fastest person in the world, they're only faster than the second person by like a few seconds. It's the small things though that matter. These small things. So you can be like most people and overlook this environment aspect of life and how it influences you and just be controlled unknowingly. Or you can be like the high achievers who look around the environment and say, how do I want this environment to shape me? That's a bar. I signed neuroscience, neuronknowledge. That's a bar, write it down. And let me give you a quote by James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits. He said, winners often win because the environment makes winning easier. And my goal in this video is to make winning easier for you. Now, let me pause this video because your girl needs to use the bathroom, and I'll be back. Had to use the bathroom real quick. It's early. Gotta do what you gotta do. But anyway, I left out on a quote, and our question now is, how do we make it easy to win in our environment? The first thing you want to do is think about, what do you want to do? Like, literally, what is it? You want to read more? You want to meditate? You want to write? You want to practice a sport? You want to practice a skill? You want to cook a meal? Like, what is it? Now, once you think about what you want to do, make sure you actually have that thing in your environment so you can do it. Like, that's as simple as it is. Make sure it's in the environment. I wanted to get into running, and so I got running shoes and I put it at my front door, so that when I walked out, I was some running shoes, immediately think, okay, let me go running. When I wanted to get better at juggling, I made sure my juggling balls were on the table that I did my work on. So when I wanted to take a little break and disengage and let my mind like cool off, I would get my juggling balls, juggle. I was struggling to make sure my plant was getting watered. So I got a water gallon jug, and literally put it right by the plant to make sure that when I walked in, I would water my plant. Like, that's as simple as it is. Think about what you want to do, how you want your behavior to be influenced, and then make sure those things are in the environment. Now, I might be thinking, okay, I get you. That's simple. Make sure the thing you need is in the environment. But what if there's actually something I can't put in the environment? Like meditation, right? Because it's not like you can put a cue to meditate. I mean, I guess you could. Oh my goodness. You heard that cat? I don't know if he's still there. But anyway, how can you put something like meditate into your environment so you actually do it? I mean, I guess you could put like a yoga mat down, but then you won't be thinking about meditation, you'll be thinking about yoga. So how do you do that? When it comes down to things you can't physically put into your environment to influence your behavior, that's when you want to lean into making a plan. This is called implementation intentions. I learned this from James Clear in his book Atomic Habits. There's something that's really effective. So all you gotta do is write down the behavior you want to do. You don't have like a clear-cut thing you can put in your environment to do it, into this formula. And it's, I will do behavior at time or event in environment. And I'm going to break down, like, I'm going to give you an example of how to use that formula. But first, let me go down each element so it'll make more sense. I promise, just stick with me. I know it might not make sense right now, but stick with me and it will. So behavior is what you plan to do. Time is just like literally what time? 12, 1, 4, 5, you know? Event is something you're already doing. So you already wake up in the morning, you already drive to work, you already eat breakfast, stuff like that. And environment is where you are. Car, bathroom, office, room, bedroom, kitchen, you know, simple things like that. So let me run through a meditation example. I'm using this plan. I will meditate for 30 seconds after I drink my first glass of water in my bedroom. That's as simple as it is. So now, although you don't have something in your environment telling you right now, hey, do this thing, you have an action that prompts you to remember. You have an action that reminds you to do this thing. So, and this is literally the implementation intention I followed when I first got into meditating. It was, I will meditate after I drink my water in the morning in my bed. And so after I drink my water, I meditate. And that's simple as it is. So when there's nothing you can put in your environment to influence your behavior, the next step is to make a plan that will cue you to do this behavior. And hopefully you're taking notes right now and you're actually thinking about what you want to do and what needs to be in your environment for it to get done. Because if you don't and you're just watching this video, what good are you getting from this? You might as well click off the video now. Like, you don't come to my videos just watching and hoping that this is just for entertainment. This is for education. And there are things you gotta do. Like, I don't want you to just sit here passively watching. I want you to take action. So literally think now about, what do you want to do? You can write down a list of things you want to do and what needs to be in your environment for you to do them. I remember I was struggling to eat healthier and I wanted to eat more fruits. And I got a bag of apples and I put it in my fruit basket, but I just never went into the basket to get the apples. Then I decided I'll cut the apples up and put them in a container, and I put them in the very front of the refrigerator. And like literally overnight, I became an apple eater. Why? Because I put it in a better spot in my environment to influence my behavior. So when I opened up the refrigerator, it was right there. All I had to do was take out some slices, eat it, and I'm done. Like, this stuff matters. And there's many ways you can influence your environment. Now that's one thing. You're doing things you want to do because you're influencing the environment. But what about the things you want to stop doing, right? Because there's obviously things we don't want to keep doing. Well, the next step is whatever you want to stop, figure out how to get it out of your environment or make it harder for you to do that thing. So, easy to example is gaming was something I want to stop doing so much of. And so I gave my Xbox to my best friend, and she lives an hour away from me. And so now I just don't game because I have no console. Another example is I remember I kept waking up late at night. Not late, but I kept waking up in the morning. Instead of getting up and getting started my day, I would get right back in bed. And this is very unusual for me because back at home, and granted, it's a little bit harder because I have someone I'm sleeping next to. But like back at home, when my alarm went off, I was up and at it. So I remember thinking like, what's the problem? What's the issue? How would I stop this? And it hit me that my phone placement was holding me up because I had my phone on my nightstand. So when my alarm went off, I didn't have to get up to get my phone back at home. Back at home, I could cut my phone across the room. So my alarm would go off. I would hit snooze on a nightstand and stay in bed. So I just moved it. I made it harder to just hit snooze. I put my phone back across the room. So then when it went off, I jumped out of bed, okay, and run to that phone because first, I'm sleeping next to somebody. I don't want to wake her up. And secondly, now I have to do it because it's not by my nightstand anymore. And so that helps me a lot. And I'm doing this still to this day. That's why I'm up now recording videos before work because my phone was away from me and I had to get up and that influenced my behavior. And now I'm up and now I can get going in the morning. But when it's by my nightstand, my behavior is influenced another way. I hit snooze and I go to sleep. That's how important this stuff is. So you really want to make sure that whatever is in your environment that you don't want to do, you either get it out, like when my Xbox, I got rid of it, or you make it harder to do it, like me putting my phone across the room so I can't hit snooze and stay in bed longer. So there you have it. That's all you have to do. Like be aware of your environment and then control the has, and then take back that control and be intentional about what goes into your environment. And if you take control of your environment, you're gonna find it's like easier to win. It's a lot easier to do the right behaviors. It's a lot easier to feel proud of yourself because you don't have these negative things trying to pull you this way and that way. You have these things that are trying to pull you towards greatness, and it's actually doing it. But if you don't take control of your environment, then everything around you that you aren't intentional about is controlling you. And you better hope and pray you're in an environment that is set up to empower you. Because if you aren't, like most people, you'll be disempowered, you'll be stuck, you'll be a zombie just watching TV and being on your phone and glued to your couch and not growing in life. Now, you have a choice in how your life turns out. And if you really want a choice where life goes up, look at your environment and start making some changes there. Now, changing your environment is just one step of living with more intention. But there's more you're going to need if you really want to stay off the default mode of living, which we all know and we don't want to be on, which is literally just going to work, coming home, watching TV, being on your phone, scrolling, eating, going to sleep, waking up, going to work, day off, let's turn up, day off, let's turn up, now go back to work. You know what I'm talking about? You don't want to be on that default mode. You don't have to. But changing environment isn't going to be the clear-cut thing. It's definitely a part. But if you want to learn more, I did make a course called Live by Design. It'll be the first thing in my description that help you stay off the default mode of living for the rest of your life. Go check that out. If you like this video, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, all that good jazz. And I'll see you for the next one.